Artoria Pendragon, the King of Knights, is fated to meet her end following the Battle of Camlann. This should hold true, even in the wake of alternate universes, or rather, diverging timelines. In one such timeline, Artoria, upon receiving Excalibur from the Lady of the Lake, decides to continue using her holy spear, Rhongomyniad, as her primary weapon. This halts the growth suspension granted to her by Caliburn and Excalibur, instead allowing her body to transform into an existence closer to that of a divine spirit. Thus, in addition to merely growing to a physical age suitable for a king, the lance's divinity further develops her. Beyond her physical form, she becomes more composed and rational when it comes to running her kingdom. In battle, she wields Rhongomyniad, the lance that shines to the ends of the world, while fighting atop her steed, the horse Dun Stallion. Yet she too is fated to die beneath a tree following her climactic battle with Mordred. Beyond this, however, is a tale to be told where the King of Knights does not die. A warped timeline in which the holy sword Excalibur is not properly returned to the Lady of the Lake. The source of this distortion is her loving knight, Sir Bedivere. Going back to the formation of the Knights of the Round Table, Bedivere is the first to be recruited, minus Sir Kay, who has accompanied Artoria since the drawing of Caliburn from the stone. Unlike the other knights to follow, he is chosen not for his strength, but rather his heart and humanity. He admires King Arthur, hoping to become her personal guard in an attempt to witness her true colors up close. After all, Artoria is a king who puts her people before herself. She does not smile unless it's for the sake of her subjects. Even after his promotion to Imperial Guard, he is unable to see her smile for her own sake, even once. When some of her knights begin to distance themselves from her, asserting she does not understand the hearts of men, Bedivere remains loyal as order is disrupted by Mordred and rebellion strikes the kingdom. In the Battle of Camlann, Artoria impales Mordred with Rhongomyniad, but also suffers a lethal wound of her own. Bedivere, having survived to the end, albeit wounded, takes his king upon his white horse to a pure, uninhabited forest. Artoria, acknowledging her end, orders Bedivere to return Excalibur to the Lady of the Lake. Normally, it is fated that Bedivere makes 2 attempts to return the blade, each time turning back out of fear and a hope that she may still pull through. On his 3rd attempt, he realizes that he is being disloyal and sets aside his own concerns to fulfill his final order. This is a tale of the reality in which Bedivere still, even on his 3rd attempt, refuses to return the sword. His spirit broken, he flees, leaving Artoria alone in the forest. There, she lingers, still clinging to the sacred lance Rhongomyniad, and, rather than completely dying, she begins to wander as a ghost. The longer she holds the lance, the more it distorts her body. Slowly but surely, Artoria Pendragon transcends her humanity, instead transforming into a divine spirit. Even longer, she essentially becomes a goddess unto herself, one known as the Goddess Rhongomyniad. Many years later, in the modern era, humanity faces its destruction via incineration, and the organization known as Chaldea embarks on the Grand Orders, journeys to correct various singularities merging in time as a result of Grand Caster Solomon's Holy Grails. One such singularity is set in the land of Jerusalem with the anomalous inclusion of Egypt. The goddess Rhongomyniad finds herself wandering into this singularity strictly through the sheer power she obtained through divinity. The goddess acknowledges that gods are beings born from human worship, and that the end of humanity will also spell the end for her. Thus, she wishes to save humanity from incineration, devising a plan that in many ways proves controversial. Using the true might of her lance, she aims to select only the most virtuous of humans and transfer their souls into the lance's essence. There, the souls will be frozen, eternally preserved, yet unable to interact and experience. While it robs mankind of its free will, it also ensures they will survive beyond the incineration. In this endeavor, she summons all the Knights of the Round Table she can, offering them the chance to assist her in her holy selection. Among them, Gawain, Lancelot, Agravain, Tristan, and Mordred join her cause, while Sir Kay, Percival, Gaheris, Palamedes, Pellinor, and Bors oppose her ambitions and are promptly slain. The remaining knights are declared the Knights of the Lion King, a title she takes on for herself. She grants each of her allied knights a unique gift, enhancing their power considerably. Together, they set out to the Holy Land and claim it as their own, erecting an idealized version of Camelot in its place. This is referred to as the Holy City, a sanctuary whose only residents are chosen by the Lion King's holy selection. Of course, this spurs resistance from Jerusalem's refugees, the various forms of Hassani Saba, as well as the Pharaoh King Osmandius and his subjects in Egypt. With her humanity lost as a result of Rhongomyniad, the Lion King declares all who oppose her as enemies and mercilessly orders their execution. The knights venture out and slaughter opposition en masse, and the Lion King uses the Holy Lance to rain down the light of judgment upon entire regions of the earth. Hypocritically, the knights remain at her side while her humanity is fully absent, when in life they questioned her inability to understand human emotions. Still, they know their king is no longer the same fair ruling king of knights. They accept that she is more tyrant than king in her current form. Regardless, they believe in her method of salvation, believing it to be the only solution for such a doomed world. Oddly enough, one of the knights she did not summon, Sir Bedivere, has been completely forgotten. The Lion King no longer remembers him. Bedivere, upon fleeing with Excalibur, succumbs to despair, knowing he betrayed his king. Thus, he spends the next 1,500 years surviving in his youth from Excalibur's light, searching desperately for Artoria in order to make amends. In this time, he becomes damaged, ultimately washing up on the shores of Avalon. There, Merlin, the Grand Court Mage, finds him practically dead as stone and missing his right arm. Merlin awakens the petrified Bedivere and learns from him the circumstances leading up to the creation of the Lion King. After all this time, Bedivere still yearns for redemption by returning Excalibur to his king. The Artoria that exists in the singularity is the result of his insubordination, and he wishes to set that right, even if it means fighting against her and his former comrades. To send him on his way, Merlin enchants Bedivere, masking his identity under the name Lucius. So that he may continue to fight, Merlin takes Excalibur and reshapes it into a silver arm resembling Airgitlam, the prosthetic arm of the Celtic war god Nuada, the first king of the Tuatha De Danann. While its true identity is the Holy Sword, when invoked, it mimics the qualities of the Celtic divine construct as an anti-army assault. Sadly, Bedivere is no servant. He's still human, and the cost of using this noble phantasm is that it consumes the soul. Thus, fighting the Lion King will inevitably tear his soul apart as he crumbles away. Regardless, he is determined to finally fulfill his duty. Bedivere arrives in the singularity, making his way to the fake holy city the Lion King has erected. Along the way, he ignores his fellow knights and their misdeeds, the slaughtering of innocent people to forcibly enact the holy selection. While Bedivere has not yet succumbed to madness after all his years of searching, it seems he has lost his way. He stands before the holy city, shrouded in a cloak, watching as Sir Gawain tries to slay a young child, instead killing the boy's mother as she leaps to protect her son. Bedivere plans to ignore this and focus on entering the city, when suddenly, he witnesses a foreign master, Ritsuka Fujimaru, and his servant, Mashu Kyrielite, blow their cover to oppose Gawain's cruelty. Their virtuous bravery spurs Bedivere to join them in their journey. At first, he is merely using the Chaldea Master as a means of entering the city, but along the way he finds new purpose in stopping the Lion King's tyranny. In assisting Ritsuka, Bedivere exhausts his spirit using Airgitlam against the Knights of the Round Table, ultimately making his way to the throne room of the king as she unleashes Rhongomyniad's light. Finally, he fights alongside his newfound allies to defeat the goddess. A Amidst their fight, he mentors Mashu in how to properly invoke Sir Galahad's noble phantasm, Lord Camelot, and survive the king's lands. Chaldea's party succeeds in vanquishing the Lance's shadow, the king's means of salvation. Bedivere relinquishes unto her Excalibur, and in its possession, the Lion King gains back enough of her humanity to remember him, and even laugh. Bedivere, with his body crumbling to dust, finally completes his mission. The king acknowledges her defeat and submits, still believing her actions are just. As the singularity is restored, she collapses along with it. For his deeds, Sir Bedivere is recorded into the Throne of Heroes and is able to be summoned by Chaldea with the ability to wield a power akin to Argotlam. He may not recall his struggle against the Lion King, but he is nonetheless committed to fighting alongside Ritska to prevent the incineration of humanity. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then go check out some of my other lore videos. It's my goal to make one of these for virtually every servant in the Nasuverse, and I would appreciate your support through that journey. The best way would be to become a patron of the channel. We offer different reward tiers, ranging from early access to the chance to suggest your very own video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to OtakuDaiKun for more anime lists, reviews, discussions, lore videos, let's plays, and the holy waifu wars. Until next time, celebrate your fandom.